This system is made for epic visual music, basically. And fucking hell, that's like the rebirth of my music.
That's the thing, surround reveals so much that you don't get in stereo.
That's right.
Because in stereo, you're trying to squeeze all these sounds into a line. That's all you've got. You've got a line between left and right. That's it. It's completely flat. It's a cartoon. It's a cartoon of music. It's not reality at all. And you have to try and squeeze everything into this one line. Whereas with surround, you've got infinite numbers of these lines. 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 Infinite numbers of these lines.
I don't know, how are we starting this piece? Hi, this is Gaz Cobain. Hi, I'm Gaz Cobain. Hi, I'm Gaz Cobain from the future sound of London, and we are getting deeply immersed into some surround sound at the moment, and we're going to show you some of the inner mechanisms of that. So come this way.
Music's always been in surround. It's only in the last 20, 30 years that we've had this weird aberration called stereo that just lives over in one side of your room. I mean, that's not real music. So it's just a pale imitation of what reality is. And with surround, we get closer to reality.
This is a glorious key to the prison door. I see an opportunity here to really make people feel something different, to set up profound listening experiences. Every sound tells a story. I think we've actually become so bombarded that we've actually become quite sedated. My emotional responses to music have become sedated. Every sound tells a story now. It's like I'm feeling something emotionally. What we need to do is put an echo on that violin, and maybe suck it from the front to the back. Okay. It's the continuation of the seeds of what we were doing back in '97, given a new burst of life, so that actually that FSOL period of experimentation, it feels to Brian and myself like that's very alive again. It feels like it's relevant again. It feels like it's profound again. And for a while, our working technique and our language that we'd been evolving in the 90s, it seemed to run out of steam. It seemed like electronic music in the stereo field had done its thing. I began to be bored with just the future, to predict the future of music. How convenient, Future magazine. Because I want to be happy in the present, and I want to really live in the present. And actually there's a lot of mystery from the past that's relevant as well. What the fuck is this about now? What is experimentation about? How can I experiment? When did yoga spun out in India? Trying to rock and psychedelia. And stood up on the stage and thought, what the fuck is this about now? What is experimentation about? How can I experiment? I pulled away from technology to make myself a responsible person who could use technology again. It just felt like it was all accelerating, and I needed to pull back, become tactile again, work out my expression again. Now I feel I can retain my humanity. And I think that's what the future has got to be. It's got to be about retaining your humanity and using technology.
The reason we use good technology to make music is because we can get whatever we have in our heart more clearly out.
Yes, technology revolution, but yes, what about the heart revolution? What about spiritual revolution? It's not just about technology. Technology has to be in balance.
I think with surround, you can create this huge, profound experience.
Profound listening experience.
A good surround mix, like what we're doing here, I think when it goes down to stereo, sure it's going to lose something. Simply because there just isn't as many possibilities. There isn't that transmission of that huge, profound experience. You'll be getting a cartoon version instead of getting a 3D version.
We were EQing more and more and more and more, crashing, processing, doing so much work on stereo film.
Yeah.
But now this is not because we just want to play very loud movies with very loud explosions, which is in its own time good fun every now and then, you know. But it's the microdynamics. Is that the microdynamics remain? Because there's so much more information that survives, and it's all about the microdynamics. And I really do believe that this is the strength of DTS surround sound and of this room and the speaker system, because the speaker system actually is capable of producing the microdynamics. So you hear them, so you then can mix to them, or actually not reduce the quality, because that's really what you've been doing with all the compression and the EQing. Is you were just basically destroying your own microdynamics.
Yeah. It's a huge chunk of music that's just going nowhere.
You can hear the dimension opening up there.
Huge.
I mean, yeah,
Isn't it?
that surround sound aspect to use the space, we've always had that, but now we've got it with a big veranda built on the side of the house, you know. There's big questions to be answered. I don't have the answers right now.
What makes it exciting is that there are so many questions.
Yeah.
Because stereo, everybody knows how to do stereo. You stick the bass and the kick drum up the middle, and you stick the guitars out there, and you put the synths out there, and that's basically it. You don't get a lot of choices. Yeah, it's done. Everyone, there's certain rules you follow, and it just works. But here, it's like you're actually creating a whole new experience and creating a whole new set of rules, and that's what makes it interesting. That's what makes it exciting.
It's the grand sonic tease. To see what happens to our music is what I'm really interested in. To see how that equates to popular music. Pop just means doing something for me that is so resonant that people like it. Far out, far in. You go so far out, you go far in, and you find something that's resonant. I'm bored of actually competing with Robbie Williams' radio mixers, because the whole music industry at the moment is forcing every musician through the same poop hole. And that is the dimension by which you evaluate. And it feels to me like it's actually, for the first time, despite that increasing restriction, it feels that actually that's just been exploded again for me. There is so much new language to be constructed with rhythm and music and melody and sound. And actually, if you look at the way we've been writing for years, it's a mixture of synthesized, found sound, environmental sound, rhythm and melody, and speech, and song sometimes. And it's just, this is the dimension, really. Kinetica, which is the UK's first museum for interactive, kinetic, robotic light and sound art. Approached FSOL with the idea of doing a surround sound piece. Brian had been working in surround on and off, but in typical FSOL gizmo, we combine very DIY with very high end. We're not that precious by the nature of some of the sounds we collect. She was calling the show Lifeforms based on the body of work that she had pulled together. I think we've always been writing in surround, but not really fully known it. And I've seen a glorious new vista opening up. Pop song is fantastic. I love it. I love the language, but it's not necessarily the language that I'm best at. But I like trying. You know, I prefer to go so far out that we get something that speaks that language in my own way. That's essentially what we're all here to do, isn't it? You know, to try and find out how we best speak. And I see an opportunity here to really make people feel something different actually when they listen to music, and that essentially is what all music attempts to do. Pieces that we've written for the gallery, our thinking was that we did not want intrusive, monotonous, repetitive rhythms. So we've made it quite minimal, quite environmental, bursts of kind of epic melody. Typical FSOL fashion. It's the grand sonic tease, you know. I think we can hit a new level of epic that builds and builds and hopefully finally delivers at an emotional centre. Kinetica really is a magical place. It's multi-dimensional art in multi-dimensional times. A lot of art leaves the general public bemused. It seems to be somehow distant and irrelevant to our lives. But Kinetica connects on many, many levels. There is a lot of resonance here, you know, with the outlook of FSOL. This is quantum art. And in a way, I view FSOL as quantum sound. It's music and art that penetrate to the heart of what is or could be, or the potential of what is or could be, or the potential of what is. It's multidimensional art for multidimensional beings. And I think it's really important right now that we remember that we are multidimensional beings. There is a lot in this world right now which is suppressing the human potential. So avenues of communication and exploration and art like these are very, very important right now. This really is art for all. Just wander around here and you'll see, you know, it's self-evident, the fascination on the faces, from children to professors. This really is art for all. These machines really do have soul, but that's because they've been designed, operated and conceptualized by humans who have soul too. A new benchmark for listening. This is made for epic spatial visual music.
It's the dynamics that count here. Dynamic range is not necessarily pleasant, but it does make stuff come to life.
There's already several million surround sound systems in the UK.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's not like this is something that nobody's got.
Absolutely.
Lots and lots and lots of people have got surround systems at home. And all they do is watch Harry Potter on it.
It's not even that cutting edge, that's what I like about it. You know, in the same way that everybody needs a house extension these days, everybody needs surround sound.
He's not, they're from that area as well. So. But it's good to get.